Angel here. Welcome back this Tuesday morning. Today we're going to continue on Module 6, but today is Lesson 11. So we're going to start off first with our application problem. And we always remember that with our application problem, we have to do the RDW. We have to read, draw, and write. It reads, Ty bakes 2 pans of brownies. In the first pan, he cuts 2 rows of 8. In his second pan, he cuts 4 rows of 4. So our part A, it says we're gonna draw a picture of Ty's brownie pans. And then for part B, we're gonna write a repeated addition equation to show the total number of brownies in each pan. And then for part C, it says how many brownies did Ty bake altogether? Write an equation and a statement to show your answer. So we're gonna go ahead and read again our problem, and it says Ty bakes 2 pans of brownies in the first pan. He cuts 2 rows of 8 in the second pan. He cuts 4 rows of 4. So we're gonna go ahead and draw it. We already read it. We're gonna go ahead and draw it. So we go back, it says Ty bakes 2 pans of brownies. So we already know we have 2 pans. So we have 1 pan and we have 2 pans. Now it says that in the first pan, he cuts 2 rows of 8. So we already know rows are from side to side. So rows, and we know that columns are up and down. So we got rows from side to side, columns from up and down. So at the first pan, it says he cuts 2 rows of 8. So we're gonna cut this pan into 2 rows. So we have 1 row and 2 rows. Now of 8, so we already know that in each one, we should have 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So this is my row 1 and my row 2. Now we go back, it says that in the second pan, he cuts 4 rows of 4. So 4 rows of 4. So we're gonna go back to our second pan and we're gonna put 4 rows. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have row 1, row 2, row 3, and row 4. Perfect. Now it says he cuts 4 rows of 4. So we already know that we're gonna cut this in 4 equal. So in each row we have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we have 4 rows of 4 in each row. So we already did our draw part. Now we're gonna answer the question. So for part A, it says draw a picture of Ty's brownies, which we already did. For part B, it says we're gonna write a repeated addition equation to show the total number of brownies in each pan. Our word here is total number. Total number. So if we count from this first pan, if we count all the little squares, we have 2 rows of 8. We already know that in this pan, he has how many? Think, think, think. How many do we have? How many do we have? We have 16 in this pan. If we count the ones from this pan, we have 4 rows of 4 in each. So 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. Think, think, think. What's my answer? We have 16 as well. So for part B, that says write a repeated addition equation to show the number of brownies in each pan. So in each pan, so what equation do I have here? I have 2 rows of 8. So what number, remember, repeated addition equation is what number am I going to add repeatedly, so over and over. So here on this top part, I know I have 8, and this bottom part, I have 8. So we're gonna add the number 8, how many times? 2 times, because we have 2 rows. So we have 8 on the top plus 8 in the bottom is how we got our total. Now for this second pen, we have 4 rows of 4. So we already know that we have 4 rows, and we know that in each row we have 4. So we're gonna do 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. So we're adding the number 4 4 times. So we have 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. That's how we got 16. So that's for part B. For part B, it was asking the repeated addition equation for each pen. So for each pen, we have an equation. Now we got that part done, we go to our last part. It says, how many brownies did Ty bake all together? So what's our keyword there? Keyword, remember we box our keywords when we're reading. So our keyword is all together. So we want to know how many he did in pan A plus our pan B. So we already said that in our first pen we had how many? Think, think, think. In our first pen we have 16. So we already know we're gonna add repeated addition equation. Now how many did we say were in the second pen? Think, think, think. Good, we have 16. So I want to know how much he did all together. So I'm going to add 16 and 16. Think, think, think. What's my answer? What's my answer is 32. Now we have to do RW. We have to write an equation, which we already did. And then we have to write a statement. So let's write our sentence. You have to write our sentence. Remember, I'm going to give you some time to write your sentence. So our sentence is go ahead and going to look something like this. So we're going to put Ty baked how many brownies? 32 brownies. What's our keyword? All together. So our sentence should look something like that. So we have our picture, we did our addition equations, and lastly we got how much they did all together, and we wrote our sentence. Good. We did part A, we did part B, and we did part C. Now to go on to our problem set, we're gonna go to our problem set and we're gonna go ahead and do problem 1. And it says, use your square tiles to construct the following arrays with no gaps. So no gaps or overlaps. So there's not gonna be any space. Write a repeated addition equation to match each construction. So we already know we have to write a repeated addition equation. Remember, keywords. Repeated addition equation, and we have to do an array with no gaps. So we're gonna go ahead and start with number 1. And for part A, it says place 8 square tiles in a row. So we already know we have just 1 row, but we have a total of 8 squares. So we're gonna draw 8 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we have 1 row of 8. So this is for part A. Now for part B, it reads, construct an array with the 8 squares. We have to construct the what? An array. That's correct. So on our array, we already know we're not gonna have any spaces or gaps. So how are we gonna rearrange these 8 squares that we have here into an array? How are we gonna arrange them? Think. There's multiple ways of doing this. So we have to divide these 8 squares equally into rows and into columns. So I'm going to go ahead and do 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So I have my 8 squares, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There we go. We have these 8 squares that we had here, and I rearranged them into a different array, but I still have my 8 squares. I just did them in 2 rows, so 1 row, 2 rows, and in each row I put 4. So 4 plus 4 is 8, which is my total. Now I already did part A, and that was part B. Now for my part C, it says we're gonna write a repeated addition, so we know repeated addition equation, to match the new array. So my new array is this one. So I said the top row has 4 and the bottom row has 4. So what repeated addition equation am I going to write to match this array that I drew here? So what number did I add? What same number did I add over and over again? Think. Good. 4, what did I say? 4 plus 4, right? I'm only gonna add the 4 2 times because I only have 2 rows. So 4 plus 4. Now what do I have? 4 plus 4 equals my total. And we know my total was already my 8. So I know my total is 8. Now that was for problem 1 for the problem set. Okay, now that we have done our problem set and our application problem, those would help you to finish working out what you have to do. The rest of the problems on the problem set, also including your exit ticket. So just if you're having any problems or you're stuck somewhere, go ahead and go back to the problems that we did together that I did with you, which was your application problem and your number 1 problem set, and it should help you out a little bit. But if you have any questions, feel free to send me a message, and I hope you have a really fantastic Tuesday morning.